Alright, my game crashed. I guess it didn't really matter if I lost my save. Oh, it does matter. Damn it. I guess I should have saved it. Okay, that's not so bad. Let's just grab these books. Yeah, I can't run. Alright. F5. F5. Books. Where was I? Report, yeah. Rising Threat, Volume 4. By Lathanel of Sunhold. The following is the account of Lathiel of Sunhold, an Altmer refugee from Somerset Isle who came to Cyrodiil in the early years of the Fourth Era. According to Lathanel, he did not flee the aftermath of the Oblivion crisis in Somerset, rather he fled the darkening shadow of the Thalmor upon my beloved homeland. Lathanel had a very intense presence, to put it politely, and some of his accusations of Thalmor involvement border on madness. This may be why his fervent warnings and outspoken criticism of the Thalmor and the Aldmeri Dominion went unheeded, but history has at least partially vindicated Lathanel's claims. Praxis and Renatrum, the Imperial Historian. While Morrowind and the Imperial forces in Black Marsh were still reeling from the consecutive catastrophes of the Oblivion Crisis and the destruction of Vonderfell, the Thalmor incited the Argonians to mount a massive uprising. Black Marsh and southern Morrowind were completely lost to the Argonians, but luckily the Thalmor too lost what influence they had over the Reptilians. All the while, the Thalmor consolidated their hold over my beloved homeland. It took almost a decade before my own machinations put me in contact with Occato. He seemed more interested than most in what I had to say about the Thalmor, maybe because he himself was an Altmer and recognized the threat they represented. It wasn't long before the Thalmor had Occato assassinated. Potentiate Occato's murder began the Storm Crown in Terragon. The Elder Council fractured, leading into years of ruthless infighting, plots and backstabbing. Many tried to claim the Ruby Throne. Most were pretenders to the crown. A few had legitimate claims. Others were still little more than brutal dullards who thought mere strength of arms was all the entitlement they needed. Violent unnatural storms lashed the Imperial City several times during this anarchy, always with the eye of the storm looking directly upon White Gold Tower, as if this was the judgment of the Nine Divines. Will the Empire submerge in this mayhem? The Thalmor were quick to act. With the Empire submerged in this mayhem, the Thalmor were quick to act. They overthrew the rightful kings and queens of the Altmer. I remember the revulsions and horror that took hold when the word reached me that this dementia had gripped my homeland. Once so proud and majestic, many of our great race actually embraced this insanity. Then the first of many pogroms descended on Somerset Isle. They slaughtered any who were not of the blood of the Aldmer, a fine excuse to purge all the distance as well. The Thalmor have never been ones to waste such an opportunity. After 7 long, bloody years, the Storm Crown in Terragum was ended. When a Chaldean warlord by the name Titus Mead seized the crown. Whether he had rightful claim or not is moot. Without Titus Mead, there would not there would not be an empire today. He proved a shrewd and capable leader, such that Skyrim endorsed him as emperor. With the empire stabilizing under the auspicious efforts Emperor Titus Mede, I resumed my efforts to warn them of the Thalmor threat. Again, the Thalmor remained a step ahead. Before my efforts could come to fruition, the Thalmor struck. Another coup, this time in Valenwood. The Empire was not prepared for the Thalmor subterfuge and stratagem. There are many who claim the combined Altmer and Bosmer forces greatly outmatched the Empire, but this is a farce. This short, savage campaign was won by the Thalmor even before first blood was drawn. They waited and watched their enemy. They chose where and when they would attack. The Thalmor were able to bring their small fury of their small contingent of Altmer and Bosmer to any of several imperial strongholds. Contrary to the posturing of the Empire's generals, the Thalmor did not command greater numbers. They had better spies and greater mobility, and knew how best to use them. This is the menace that the Thalmor represent. I don't think I'm doing the right voice for this. It should be more like, they're cruel and merciless, and they are no fools. They are devious and subtle, and so very patient. In one stroke, the Thalmor took a strategic foothold on the mainland, and Thalmor prevented any significant attempt the Empire could have made to invade Somerset Isle and dispose the tyranny of the Thalmor. At the same time, they took a better advantage to continue to watch the Empire and wait. In doing so, they also revived the Aldmeri Dominion with their alliance to the Bosmer of Valenwood. Over the decades, the Thalmor have grown quiet, but this is not the end. It has only just begun. They merely consolidate their power and tighten their grip on the hearts and the minds of Altmer. The Empire may wish to forget the wounds its pride has suffered at the hands of the Thalmor, but they are still out there, plotting, watching, waiting. While the Empire is content to secure inconsequential corners of its vast holdings, the threat of the Thalmor continues to rise. Not since Potentiate Octrate has anyone in the Empire listened to me. I beseech any and all citizens of this renowned Empire to heed my words. The Thalmor must be stopped before it is too late. Soon after, Lenthiel of Sunhold commissioned to have these volumes printed and distributed far and wide in the Empire with his own coin. He himself met a violent end. In the light of the events that followed his death, we must consider that he may very well have been murdered by Thalmor assassins. Praxis Erratium, Imperialist Orion. I don't really understand why I can't. Songs of Skyrim revised. Compiled by Girid Germain, historian of the Bard's College Solitude. Ragnar the Red is a traditional song of Whiterun. Despite the grim final image, the song is generally regarded as light and rollicking, a favorite in inns across Skyrim. Ragnar the Red. There once was a hero named Ragnar the Red, who came riding to right one from old Rorikstead, and the braggart did swagger and brandish his blade as he told of gold battles and gold he had made. But then he went quiet, did Ragnar the Red, when he met the shield maiden Matilda, who said, "Oh, you talk and you lie and you drink all our mead. Now I think it's high time that you lie down and bleed." And so then came the clashing and slashing of steel as the brave lass Matilda charged in full of zeal, and the braggart named Ragnar, who boasted no more when his ugly red head rolled around on the floor. That's the song that Bard sung, right? The The Dragonborn comes has been handed down from generation to generation of bards. Let's try this. The Dragonborn comes has been handed down from generation to generation of bards. The Dragonborn in Nord culture is the archetype of what a Nord should be. This song itself has been used to rally soldiers and to bring hope, and it goes out to a special couple celebrating their anniversary. Huh. Our hero claims a warrior's heart. I tell you, the Dragonborn comes with a voice-wielding power of the ancient Nord art. Believe, the Dragonborn comes. It's an end to the evil of all Skyrim's foes. Beware, the Dragonborn comes. For the darkness has passed and the legend yet grows. You'll know, the Dragonborn's come. The Age of Oppression and the Age of Aggression are variants of one song. It isn't known which of the two was written first, but the tune with loyalty-appropriate lyrics is quite popular on both sides of the war. This goes out to all our brave soldiers fighting out in the lands of Skyrim. We drink to our youth and the days come and gone. For the age of oppression is now nearly done. We'll drive out the empire from this land that we own. With our blood and our steel, we'll take back our home. Oh, hail to Ulfric, you are the High King. In your great honor we drink and we sing. We're the children of Skyrim and we'll fight all our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us died. But this land is ours and we'll see it wiped clean of the scourge that has sullied our hopes and our dreams. I can't sing, just keep in mind. We drink to our youth till the days come and gone, for the age of aggression is just about done. We'll drive out the stormcloaks and restore what we own. With our blood and our steel, we'll take back our home. Down with Ulfric, the killer of kings. On the day of your death, we'll drink and we'll sing. We're the children of Skyrim, and we fight with our lives. And when Sovngarde beckons, every one of us dies. But this land is ours, we'll see it wiped clean of the scourge that has sullied our hopes and our dreams. Oh God, there's more. The following is an ancient song we've only been recently able to translate. Without a tune or a sure pronunciation, the song is lost to time. It's included here to show the deep history of song here in Skyrim. What follows is the original version for all you music historians out there. Oh God. Dovakun, nalaks in los farin. What? Dovakun, nals in los farin. Wajin vocal macra asfal. Aqua vino rapil van nason sindernsan. Dovakin varin kagun madral. I hope this isn't a real language that I'm butchering. Husranu, Kaludwa, Wa, Abok, Ligan Va, Era Crafin Tay, Bosik Foon, Dufingen. War lost from Ra, Nedov, Arkfin, Relic, Dojal, Volk on, Suliek, Wyron, Valkren, Akvinsul, Roktrekad, Natol, Moraki Fraud, Rolot, Tazok, Gunmood, Tadvoth, Kain, Sarot, Tanmud, Madatus, Vizam, Kokroron Pa, Old Finn, Dovakun Komatok Ren, Akun Fin Kelas Podra, Dovet Vikfud Kratol Fod, Zema Winken Mesvuden, Aldun Fedun Joe, Krosek Van Stad Nu, Volthenbach Vadvin Finlen, Nozensel Fentelak Fod Finval Dovaknak, Fenkos Nalur Farukan Akruz, Das Kes Fers Kostina Lagenat, Vdovakin Kasfin Savik Ma.
And the translation: Dragonborn, Dragonborn, by his honor is sworn to keep evil forever at bay, and the fiercest foes rot when they hear triumphs shout. Dragonborn, for your blessing we pray. Hearken now, sons of snow, to an age long ago, and the tale boldly told of the one who was kin to both worm and the forces of man, with the power to rival the sun, and the voice it had wield, and that glorious field, when great Tamriel shuddered with war, a mighty Theam, like a blade, cut through enemies all, as the dragonboard issues his roar. And the scrolls have foretold of black wings in the cold, that when brothers wage war, come unfurled, all due in bane of the kings, ancient shadow unbound, with a hunger to swallow the world. But a day shall arise when dark dragons' lies will be silenced forever, and then their Skyrim will be free from foul Alduin's maw. Dragonborn be the survivor of men. Ugh. Tale of the Tongues is a newer song, one that has come into favor since the Dragonborn put down Alduin. It actually describes the events of the first battle against the dragons.
Alduin's wings they did darken the sky, his roar furry fury fires, and his scales sharpened size. Men ran and they cowered, and they fought and they died. They burnt and they bled as they issued their cries. We need saviors to free us from Alduin's rage, heroes on the field of this new war to wage. And if Alduin wins, man is gone from this world, lost in the shadow of the black wings unfurled. But then came the tongues on this terrible day, steadfast as winter they entered the fray. All heard the music of Alduin's doom, the sweet song of Skyrim, sky-shattering Thuum. And so the tongues freed us from Alduin's rage, gave the gift of the voice, ushered in a new age. If Alduin is eternal, then eternity's done, for his story is over, and the dragons are gone. Oh, thank God. Oh, God.
Oh, nope. Songs of the Return, Volume 2. The first tale of Darumzu. Our great wait, is this gonna have songs in it?
Alright, this is a story.
great lord Vaskramar, the harbinger of us all, did then send forth his 2 beloved sons, with him the only other survivors of the brutality of Sarathol, to seek out the bravest warriors of the land and mount the great return. Vingol and Vlagar they were called. They were known among Atamar's fine warriors, with bright eyes and dawning futures. Vingol the Elder was the brave strategist, bringing his learning to bear on the battlefield that his enemies would be defeated before they even known the battle had begun. Vilger the Younger was possessive of an unwavering spirit that drove his singular prowess to overwhelming feats in war. Together, the mind and the arm, they were capable of sowing a destruction most thorough and glorious to any foe who stood before them. Before they parted ways to gather their crews, the 2 clasped arms and necks in the old fashion and laughed at the heavens for their stories to come. Young Valgar then took to the massive shipyards of Jalkrafern at the southern point and commissioned 2 ships for himself and his brother. He would command the Darmzu and his brother Harak, thus carrying the names of the 2 favored stars of their heavens. The shipmaker's spirits had been subtly filled by Yaskamar's tales of the savage elves, and they set about to birth ships that befit their noble homeland. Arrangements having been made, Valgar set forth to the academies of honored soldiers, seeking out his most trusted friend and advisor to join him on the venture of the return. By now the stories of the new land to the south were spreading before him. The mere emergence of his presence was enough to cause the finest warriors to lay down their present undertakings and follow him. So was he able to call to his side the great shield sisters, Fro and Grosta, who thought and spoke as one, and they brought with them the wise war teacher Adramik, who first taught them to dance among the blades. She in turn mustered all the students at her command whose names were not yet made, but some of who would one day be known. Hermisker, who threw his shield, Urlak, who breathed fire, Rampth, the greater, Merkelin Rampth, and the far-sighted Uchi, who would see the first of many dawns. On the day of final passage, when the many-oared fleet would last see the distant green summers of Atmora, the brothers were near in their father's wake as the freshly joined 500 would eagerly press towards Tamriel. Vulgar could see his well-minded brother smiling from afar across the waves, and they shouted war cries to each other, longing for the soon day when their assembled crews would draw the treacherous elf blood onto the ground, which they would now claim for their own rights. But Kind's ministrations are not to be taken lightly, and though her blessings gave wind to drive those brave sailors to their destiny, so too did her mighty tears fall to drive them apart. When the storms of separation first arose, young Vulgar had no fear, for his crew was strong and able, and their ship drove true through the forest of swells as though pulled by the rope of fate. When the skies cleared and Vulgar glimpsed again, with new eyes, the land of his past and future home, he knew his brother's vessel was not within his horizon. The Drumzu, arriving late, drew forth onto the sands, and Valga rushed to his father to seek word of his brother. The great Vaskamor, harbinger of us all, wept for his lost son, and sought comfort in the arms of his only remaining joy. The crew of Harak became the first deaths among the 500, and Vulgar, so enraged with love for his brother that his crew would soon be counted as first among the many noble and honored names in the companions. I think I can do one next one. Why? You should be in alphabetical order. Why aren't you in alphabetical order? Whatever. Oh, because it's in alphabetical order. I'm not including numbers. It's that weird Windows 95 system. Song of the Return, Volume 56, The Final Tale of the Skyrim. The songs of the return are eternal and numerous. For those first 500, those companions of Vaskramar, who cleared the way for mankind's rightful habitation, burned with a fire not seen since those days long past. Each ship carried a crew that performed legendary feats that could feed the pride of any nation for 1,000 years. And during this time of the broadening, scores of companions wandered the land, bringing the light of the proper gods to the heathen lands of elves and beasts. They were but mortal, though, and in time, all would taste the glories of Sovngarde. It was in one of the unaccounted years after the retaking of Sarthal that the crew of the Chiron was declared their fortunes in the eastern lands near the Red Mountain. They were encamped, surrounded by bodies of murderous elves who had attempted to make them believe they held peace in their hearts. The shrewd Rorlak was the Chirians' captain, though, and would show no quarter to the liars of the Southlands, as had been commanded by his lord Vasimgrimor, harbinger of us all. It was in this state of carousing that they were approached by a young and breathless messenger of their sister crew from the Kalkaz. The boy, Astyr, as his name is now sung, had ran unimaginable distance at breakneck speeds from the blood-stained fields of the clouded sun to deliver the news to all who would hear. When he reached their camp, he bellowed a great sob before leaving his heart with the news that the mighty Vraskmar had breathed his last. Vraskmar. Astyr continued his swift run to inform the other crews as quickly as they could be found, for there were many now crawling the land, rending our legacy from their deeds. And the camp of the Chiron descended into a mourning of the most forlorn sort. Among these fires sat the bravest men and fiercest women who had ever graced the dirt of this land, and they were brought low by such a notion. While we in the day shine known only Vraskamar's glory as it gleams through history, these companions knew his might with their own eyes, and such a loss hangs so levelly on the heart that mere words cannot express the altering of their worlds. For indeed, the stories tell that Rorlak, the most battle-hardened and unflinching of all captains, did collapse with grief, and never lifted again his mighty axe. And all around Tamriel, as the news spread as a dark cloud washed from horizon to horizon, did brilliant lights go out in silent honor of their fallen general and war leader. So ended the period of the return, and the original glories of the 500 companions of Vraskmar, harbinger of us all. And I'll read this one, and then I need to take a break. Songs of the Return, Volume 7, The Tale of the Jorvisker. When at last the rightful claim of Sarthals had been retaken, driving the murderous elves back to their lofty cities, did great Vraskmar turn and let loose the fearsome war cry that echoed across all the oceans. The 500 who yet stood joined in ovation for the victory and the lament for their fallen peers. It was said to be heard on the distant and chilling green shores of Atmora, and the ancestors knew their time had come to cross the sea. As the reverberations echoed out and drowned to silence, all looked to Vraskmar, who bore the blessed Uthrad for his next commandment. With his lungs that bellowed forth the fury of her humanity, he bade them to continue their march, that the devious mare might know the territory they had brought on themselves with his trickery. "Go forth," he roared, "into the belly of this new land. Drive the wretched from their palaces of idleness. Oblige them to squalor and toil, that they would see their betrayals as the all sin against our kind. Give no quarter, show no kindness, for they would not give nor show you the same. Our great forebear gave this order as he did not yet understand the prophecy of the twin snakes, that he would be fated to die before seeing the true destiny of his line. Hearing this, the circle of captains gathered each their crews unto themselves. From here, they decreed, we will go forth. Let each ship's band make its own way, seeking their fates to the open sun. A night spent at feasting, the oath of the companions was sworn anew, with each of the 500. So they still named their count in honor of the shields that were broken at Sarthal, swearing to act as shield brother and shield sister to any of the Atmoran line, were their fates to ever again entwine. As the red hands of dawn stretched from the east, so broke the 500 companions of Raskamor, setting about their journeys, sailing now across the land with waves of stone and crests of trees flowing under their footed hulls. The first to break from the grounded fleet was the crew of the Jorvaskar, who had been formed of Raskamar's closest friends. Their captain was known as Cheek of the River, so called by the Harbinger himself from their youth's past in glory. When assembling their glistening hull, he sought out the labors of Menaro and Manwi, who now bore the native timbers across their new land of Tamriel. Among their fiercest were Tysano, who was twice named, and Ter, his twin, and shield brother, whose girth was never spoken of to his face. There were others too in their band, Maxim the Walker, Brunel, who fought with his offhand, and Vust the Smiler. These and other were sworn to Cheek, and they pushed forth into the shadows where yet the sun had not reached. Southward they went, by beast and by foot. Elves they found, though none remained to tell you what those battles entailed. The number of the Jorvaskar never faltered, so shrewd were they in battle, with minds as sharp as their blades. Once as the sun beat from its high home, Jonder the Tiny, the one who ran ahead, came over the hill to tell what was seen. Amidst a vast plain, his eyes had met a monument of a bird, whose eyes and beak were opened in flame. When his brothers and sisters crested the hill, they too saw its glory, but they were afraid, for no elven settlement could be seen to the horizon. But this is not seemly, said Cluey, who went by Loth when hiding his face. Is not this wide land fit for harvest? Why have not the elves, vile to their core, seen to exploit and tame it? They asked of their elven captives, for they had many, what they found unfit about these plains. Yet even the captives, who still bare their tongues, could say nothing of the valley. They looked with fear at the winged colossus, and from their babblings did the warriors of the Jorvaskar learn that it was older than even the elves themselves. Of those who wrought it solid from its mother stone, nothing could be said, but it was known to drive a magic almost as old as Nirn itself, some remnant of the gods' effort to render a paradise in Mundus before the shattering of Lorcan. This first of many, this crew of the Jorvaskar, heathens and ancestors to its all, feared no stories or gods. Indeed, if there was something the elves feared, they would have it for their own. Thus began the labors once more of Menro and Manwi, whose eager hands again laid to the Atmoran wood which had borne them all across the sea, and what was their ship became their shelter, as this valley became their purview, until the end of all their days. Thus began the building of the great city, circled by running of the White River, as brought forth by these beloved of Raskamar, yet but 22 of the glorious 500 companions. And that'll do it for this section of whatever I'm doing here. I'm going to go sell these books, and then I'm going to sell these books and then leave. Or, no, I'm going to stop and then sell these books. See you later.